Hi everyone, I'm Sam Sedgman, co-author of Murder on the Safari Star, and I'm here with Reading Zone to tell you all about writing adventure stories. Murder on the Safari Star is part of a series of books called Adventures on Trains. They follow an 11-year-old boy called Hal and his uncle Nat, who's a travel writer. Each book is set on a different railway journey somewhere around the world, where Hal and Nat work together to solve a mystery. Murder on the Safari Star is set in South Africa, and while they are steaming through the savannah, one of the guests is found dead inside their locked compartment. There are 3 books in the series so far, and there are more to come, but they are all standalone adventures, which means that you can read them in any order. I write these books with a friend of mine, another author called Leonard. We split the work evenly, coming up with the plot and the characters together, and we both do all we can to make sure that the stories are as exciting as possible. I've got 3 tips for writing a great adventure story. First, have great locations. Adventures should always follow their characters through lots of different places that are all really interesting. Our books are set on trains, and that's really helpful because we can introduce new locations at each stop. In Murder on the Safari Star, we have nature reserves full of animals, a rooftop chase, and a huge waterfall. Great locations are essential. Second, keep the plot moving. Something should happen in every chapter of a story. You should find a new clue, make an important discovery, 2 characters should have a falling out. Something that changes the story should happen at every step. If nothing's happening, your story gets boring. So in every chapter, keep the plot moving. And lastly, build to a big climax. All the way through, it should be clear to the reader what the characters are trying to do, stopping a villain, finding a missing jewel, or preventing an imminent disaster. It's like a promise to the reader that the adventure is going somewhere. A good climax delivers that promise. It should be bigger than the rest of the book and tie up all of the loose ends. Our books are mysteries, so the reader knows from the beginning that by the end, the mystery will be solved and all of the clues explained. We always try and do that in a big action sequence that's more exciting than anything else in the book. So when readers get to the end, they feel that all of the chapters before it paid off. I'm going to read you a bit of Murder on the Safari Star to give you a taste of the adventure. This is from about halfway through the book, where Hal and his new friend Winston are trying to break into the compartment where the crime scene was to look for clues. The train is in a siding, and all the other passengers are away, finishing a safari, so they're by themselves. It's night time, and they're climbing onto the roof. They clambered up onto the observation car veranda. Winston shifted his rucksack from his chest to his back. Hal watched as his friend climbed onto the balcony railings, heaving himself up onto the roof, legs kicking. The wind ruffled Hal's shirt as he followed behind, rolling onto the rooftop, still warm from the evening sun. "Come on," said Winston, keeping low and running softly over the top of the carriage. As they jumped the gap to the first sleeping car, there was a bright flash. Hal looked up. The red and smoky clouds in the distance were severed by hairline cracks of lightning, and a moment later, thunder rolled over the treetops. "Rain's coming," Winston called out. "Quick!" He crouched down. "Grab the mushroom vent with one hand and lower your legs over the edge. I'll hold your arms so you don't fall." Hal grabbed the vent on the top of the carriage and slid his legs over the edge. He felt a dart of fear, but Winston gripped his wrists firmly. His dangling legs found the open window, and he released one hand, grabbing the frame and pulling himself inside the compartment, falling to the floor in a heap. Winston came through the window behind him, landing on his feet with a wobble. "We did it," he grinned at Hal. A flash of lightning lit up the compartment, and they both stopped smiling as they saw the empty compartment belonging to the dead man. "Shut the blind. I'll turn that lamp on," Hal whispered. "We don't want anyone to know we're here." So that's Murder on the Safari Star and my 3 top tips for writing an adventure story. Use great locations, keep the plot moving, and build to a big climax. Do check out Murder on the Safari Star to see what I mean, and all of the Adventures on Trains books. Our next book, Danger at Dead Man's Pass, is steaming into bookshops in September 2021. And if you enjoy adventures, I think you'll love it. Thanks to Reading Zone for having me, and thanks to you for listening.